1:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Danushka Madavela and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. The President holds talks with the Japanese Prime Minister. Addressing the Nikkei Forum in Tokyo, the President highlighted Asia's significance. The remains of the late businessman Dinesh Shafter exhumed. COPA discusses the progress on using information technology in government institutions. The Pirit chanting for the State Poson Festival will begin from today. Foreign news, Czech troubles as Ron DeSantis launches White House bid. In sports, Barcelona agreed to terminate defender Jordi Alba's contract at end of the season. News in detail. Addressing the Nikkei Forum on the future of Asia in Tokyo a short while ago, President Ranil Wickremesinghe highlighted Asia's significance as the world's largest economy, home to 60% of the global population and a major contributor to global growth. He emphasized the region's potential for continued growth supported by China's recovery, India's domestic demand, and the contributions of advanced economies like Japan and South Korea. President Wickremesinghe highlighted three major challenges facing Asia. He said democratic values and human rights, change and trade integration are key challenges and emphasized the importance of respecting the diverse political systems and definitions of human rights across Asian countries. He emphasized that Asia has become the global economic powerhouse and the most dynamic region, with its economy already comparable in size to Europe and North America's economies. Mr. Wickremesinghe stressed on climate change, which poses significant threats to Asia, adding that rising temperatures in the region leading to severe weather events and rising sea levels are impacting the livelihoods, food security and export of Asian countries. He focused on trade integration and its sustainability and highlighted the risks faced by Asian countries, emphasizing the importance of upholding the rule-based multilateral trading system with the World Trade Organization at its core, rejecting economic coercion and decoupling. He also emphasized that Asian countries do not want to be forced to choose between big powers and highlighted the economic independence between Asian countries and China, and expressed opposition to the bifurcation of Asia. The remains of the late businessman Dinesh Shafter were exhumed at the General Cemetery in Borella today. The remains were exhumed based on a request made by the 5-member Special Forensic Expert Committee from the Colombo Magistrates Court on 18th of May. The committee had informed Colombo Additional Magistrate Rajendra Jayasurya at the last hearing that it was necessary to exhume the body of Shafter to verify the cause of death. The Colombo Magistrate Court had issued an order instructing the Criminal Investigations Department to exhume the body of the late businessman as per the request of the Special Expert Committee. The 52-year-old Dinesh Shafter was found tied up in the driving seat of his car at the Borella Cemetery on December 15, 2022, and died the following day due to cardiac arrest while receiving treatment at the Colombo National Hospital. The Homicide and Organized Crimes Division of the Criminal Investigations Department launched investigations in collaboration with the Borella Police into Shafter's death. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. COPA, which met in March to discuss using information technology for government institutions, established a committee to be led by the Secretary to the Prime Minister Anura Dissanayake to put forth a mechanism with action dates to be presented to the committee prior to 15th of May 2023. Accordingly, the Committee on Public Accounts met recently in Parliament under the chairmanship of Lasantha Alagiyawanna to present the mechanism prepared by the said committee formed. The Secretary to the Prime Minister Anura Dissanayake explained in detail the use of information technology in relation to 13 government institutions. The following 13 institutions were considered regarding the use of information technology. The Pirit chanting for the State Person Festival will begin in Mihintale from today. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena said in Parliament yesterday that there will be no financial or any kind of shortcomings on the part of the government for the upcoming Person Festival in Mihintale. The Prime Minister recalled that state's obligation to protect the Sambuddha Sasana is also the constitution and emphasized that the government is working locally and internationally for the perpetuation of the Sambuddha Sasana. He made these comments in response to a question raised by the leader of the opposition. The Parliament gathered at 9:30 a.m. this morning. A proposal was submitted to commend the services of the retired Secretary-General to the Parliament, Dhammika Dasnayaka. Submitting the proposal, leaders of the House, Susil Premajayant, says that former Secretary-General has done an enormous service to the Parliament. And that ends local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The Minister of Labour and Foreign Employment emphasises that the members of the National Labour Advisory Council have been appointed from trade unions with large membership, and all the appointments are made according to the constitutional system. The recent non-inclusion of the Free Trade Zones and General Service Employees Union, along with 3 other trade unions from the National Labour Advisory Council, is a result of the Ministry's yearly reconstitution process, the Ministry said in a statement. The National Labour Advisory Council appointments are granted yearly, and memberships expire at the end of each year. The last National Labour Advisory Council was appointed in 2022, and membership expired in 2023, and this was mentioned in the appointment letters. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Moving on to Watchlight now. According to the Government Information Department, 15 COVID-19 cases have been reported from Sri Lanka yesterday. 1 COVID death has also been reported yesterday. The total number of COVID-infected people in Sri Lanka has increased to 672,408, and that came to you in Watchlight. Now moving on to world news in the headlines. Tech troubles as Ron DeSantis launches White House bid. Ukraine and Russia trade places in battle for Bakhmut. Tasered 95-year-old great-grandmother dies in Australia. Ron DeSantis' long-awaited entry into the 2024 race for the White House was hit by technical glitches after Twitter livestream malfunctioned. It meant the Florida governor's bid for the Republican presidential nomination got underway 20 minutes late. He went on to use the event to champion his conservative credentials, his anti-lockdown stance and education reforms. And I quote, "I am running for president for the United States to lead our great American comeback," unquote, he said. The Florida governor is viewed as former President Donald Trump's chief rival to their party's candidate in the 2024 general election. Mr. DeSantis is a relative newcomer in U.S. politics, having first been elected to the House of Representatives in 2012. Just 6 years later, in 2018, after a failed bid to become a senator, he was elected governor of Florida. Russia's Wagner Group claims to have captured Bakhmut in eastern Ukraine this week, but the government in Kyiv says it intends to recapture the ruined city after surrounding it. The battle for Bakhmut has increasingly been focal point of the war, now in its 65th week, as Russian President Vladimir Putin prioritized capturing the region of Donetsk, in which the city with a pre-war population of 70,000 is situated, and neighboring Luhansk. Ukraine says it has used attritional street warfare in Bakhmut to draw in Russian forces from other parts of the front and to inflict high casualties. Over the past 2 weeks, its forces also launched a number of flanking operations around the city to reclaim land. A 95-year-old woman has died in hospital a week after being tasered by an Australian police officer inside her nursing home. Claire Nowland, who had dementia, was tasered on May 17th after staff found her holding a steak knife outside her room in Coma in southeastern Australia. The incident left Nowland, a great-grandmother, with critical head injuries after she fell. She passed away peacefully in hospital surrounded by family and loved ones, police said in a statement on Wednesday, adding that Nowland had 24 grandchildren and 31 great-grandchildren, and after her death, Christian White, a 33-year-old senior police officer, was charged with recklessly causing grievous bodily harm, assault occasioning natural bodily harm, and common assault over the incident. The policeman, who has been suspended with pay, will face court on July 5th. The charges will probably change after Nowland's death. And back to the headlines of the world news. Tech troubles DeSantis launches White House bid. Ukraine and Russia trade places in battle for Bakhmut. And tasered 95-year-old great-grandmother dies in Australia. And that ends World News.
Development News.
The World Health Organization has commended Sri Lanka for enacting a legislation on trans fat to protect health and prevent premature deaths from coronary heart disease. Dr. Poonam Ketrapal Singh, Regional Director, WHO, Southeast Asia, Tuesday said eliminating trans fats from food supplies is a cost-effective measure with enormous health benefits. By enacting legislation on trans fat, Sri Lanka has once again demonstrated its resolve to protect and promote health of its people. The legislation restricts levels of industrially produced trans fats in oil and food and bans partially hydrogenated oils, the primary source of trans fats, and that was development news. Now moving on to sports news. Spain left-back Jordi Alba will leave Barcelona this summer after the Spanish champion agreed to mutually terminate his contract a season early. Alba, 34, joined the club in 2012 from Valencia and has won 6 La Liga titles, 5 Copa del Rey trophies and the Champions League in 2015. He has made 458 appearances for the Catalan club, including 29 this season as Barcelona won La Liga. Alba will join club captain Sergio Busquets in leaving this summer. And that's the sports news.
Go ekaktiana youth ekata life eke change ekata niyameta set wenna as wahagena dakapu hina habe karanna youth ekata niyameta set wenna friendship ekata menna.
The all new NSB Ithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena questioned the Western Financial Cooperative officers if it's fair to auction off property that the members have sustained for a long time without taking the necessary measures to recover the cooperative system when it fails. He mentioned this in a discussion regarding the problems faced by the cooperative societies in Colombo, Gampaha and Kalutara districts of the Western Province and providing prompt solutions to those issues held at Temperatries on Monday. The Prime Minister informed the Western Province Governor as well as the relevant officials that when there is an economic crisis in the country, the government officials should act accordingly, find remedies, and that the preliminary draft to change the cooperative charter in the Western Province, which is not strong enough. And that was Business News.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekaktiana youth ekata life eke change ekata niyameta set wenna as wahagena dakapu hina habe karanna youth ekata niyameta set wenna friendship ekata menna.
The all new NSB Ithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Economic News, courtesy of
LONC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LONC Finance claims the overall gold award, whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking.
The Welfare Benefits Board has taken significant measures to address the challenges faced by welfare beneficiaries in receiving their allowances. Effective from July, the board has implemented a direct crediting system, ensuring that beneficiaries' bank accounts are directly credited with the necessary welfare benefits. This encompasses the correction of any previous errors in social welfare benefits and the continuation of existing government assistance programs such as Samurdhi and elderly assistance. And that was economic news.
LOLC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LOLC Finance claims the overall gold award, whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking. LOLC Finance will continue to innovate with the next generation digitalization of financial services, delivering a superior customer experience.
Weather report.
The Met Department forecasts that showers or thundershowers will occur at a few places in the eastern and Uva provinces during the evening or night. Coastal areas of the western province and coastal areas of the Galle and Mathura districts may receive a few showers during the morning. And that was the report. And prior to concluding this news broadcast, the headlines once again. The President holds talks with the Japanese Prime Minister. Addressing the Nikkei Forum in Tokyo, the President highlighted Asia's significance. The remains of the late businessman Dinesh Shafter exhumed. COPA discusses the progress on using information technology in government institutions. The Pirit chanting for the State Poson Festival will begin from today. Foreign news, tech troubles as DeSantis launches White House bid. In sports, Barcelona agreed to terminate defender Jordi Alba's contract at end of the season. And with that, we end this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.